Let's talk about lenses. Lenses, to be honest, I think I did the most when it comes to lenses. I bought a lot of lenses that I did not need, basically from not doing research. But to be honest, when I first started off, the only lens that I was using was the kit lens, the 18 to 55. I'll put a picture of it right here. This is usually the lens that comes in most Canon cameras. I mean, I would say it's a very versatile lens. It takes pretty good video as well as taking pretty good pictures. Yeah, and it doesn't cost. It's not the most expensive lens. So that's another plus to it. To be honest, I didn't need to invest in other lenses, but eventually I did. I bought this lens, which is a lens that zooms in really, 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 really far. So this lens is better for like outside photography, if you're filming nature, because it can go very far. And I didn't do my research. I just saw it. It didn't cost too much, and I bought it. And when I got it and tried to use it, I was like, wow, this is not what I need. So that was a waste of money. And then I ended up getting a wide angle lens, which I do use at times when it comes to pictures. I was using it at times when it came to video, but the downside with that one is it didn't zoom in and out as much. The range that it zoomed in and out wasn't very far. I didn't have much use for that lens when it came to videos, but it does take really nice photos in that it picks up a lot because it's wide angle. It picks up a lot of what might be behind you when you are taking pictures. So ultimately that lens was a good investment. I just can't use it much for video. And then after doing a lot of research on YouTube, I eventually invested in another lens. This one right here is what I'm currently filming on and what I'm currently taking photos with. And baby, this lens was worth it in my opinion. The aperture on it, so the amount of light that it lets in, the amount of blurriness that it gives in my background, the crispness that it gives in my photos. I really love this lens. And I was able to find a used version of it on eBay, making it a little bit more cost effective, because this lens new is very pricey for a lens. It probably would have cost more than my camera did if I had bought it new. As far as cost effectiveness, do you need to go out and purchase this lens because I said it's incredible and it takes crisp pictures and videos? No, I think the kit lens that you first get is a good lens to start off with, a good lens to learn with, and it's going to produce good quality videos and good quality images, because that's what I was using for the longest time. So as far as lenses, I say the kit lens that comes with it, I think that's all you need, to be honest, when you're first starting off and trying to figure things out. Another thing I wanted to talk about was lighting, which I kind of talked a little bit about in episode 2, so definitely check that out. I don't want to be repetitive and talk too much about what I talked about in that video, but I will show you guys what I started off with. Because I was proud of this DIY moment. I was proud of it. Okay, it saved me some coins. Okay. But yeah, I definitely say invest in some professional lighting if you can, right away. But yeah, when I first started off as far as lighting, I was first relying on natural lighting. Anyone who has tried to use natural lighting for recording knows how temperamental our weather can be. And that's another downside. If you are a content creator who is doing this part-time, you have a full-time job and you kind of have to work around it, and having to rely on natural lighting, you only get but so much in the daytime. And then you have to think about the weather, if it's an overcast day, if it's raining. So that's that's the downside to it. It is free 99, but it's a lot that you don't have control over when it comes to the lighting and, daylight and weather. So I don't recommend it. Like I said in my other video, eventually that was just too much. And so I decided to make myself a DIY ring light. So let me go get it real quick for you guys. 1 second. It was a long trip downstairs. Okay, here she is. Here she is in all her glory. So a couple years ago, I want to say 2 years ago, DIY ring lights were all the rage. And there were a lot of videos on YouTube and Instagram showing you how to create one and save those coins. So that's what I did. I was like, I'm not spending $100+ for a ring light. Yeah, but I'm just showing you my journey. Okay, so don't judge my ring light. But we all gotta start somewhere. Some things you are able to finagle, and make the best of. This was not one of them. Eventually, like I said in my other video, I got soft boxes, which I definitely recommend. If you could get soft boxes, I say they start about $60 for a set of 2. Because I would suggest getting 2, so you can have one on each side of you, and it can, your setting and you can be well lit basically. Or just getting one ring light, because that's what I'm using to film this video. One good ring light. Right. So I would say invest that money into either soft boxes or ring light, or if you're able to, I would say get both, because the more light that you're able to have and utilize, and in my opinion, the better quality the video comes out to be. It's not as dark, there's no shadows that you have to work with, and lighting is everything. Lighting is everything. That is, I would say, one area that you do want to invest some coins into. I think the next thing is backdrops. When I first started off, I used a blank wall that was behind me. I was filming in my office where we currently are, so I had to move to the basement, and that's kind of where I needed to invest in more backdrops, because this is an old house. The basement has wood paneling, and not flattering, not too flattering at all. But if you are filming against the white wall, that's free, and the video can look really good against the white wall. So that's going to be my first suggestion. If you have a nice clean wall in your house that you can film in front of, go for it. Or if you even can set up a nice little, vibe behind you with like different accessories and stuff like that. I'll share some pictures of what I'm talking about, but I think that's eventually where I want to get to, when I'm able to move into a house of my own and I'm able to really design it and figure it out the way that I want it to be. That is my goal. If you have that ability, I would say go for that. When I first started off, I don't know, I guess I didn't think the white wall was exciting. I don't know. But I would utilize plastic tablecloths that I would get from the Dollar Tree. So I'll insert some pictures here. And I ain't gonna lie, these were a vibe. They only cost me $1. I could switch them out. I could have a pink one, I could have a blue one, I could have a yellow one. And a lot of my videos in the beginning were shot with those. And hey, it cost me $1, and it helped me change the vibe and helped me, add some color to my backgrounds. And then eventually, when I moved to the basement, I started to use sheets, like the flat sheets. And I would get those from the thrift store, and they would cost like $3, $4 sometimes. And they have all kinds of colors and designs. You know, you can easily iron it and steam it, and it didn't cost me that much. So that's kind of where I went after the Dollar Tree tablecloths. Eventually after that, I did break down and I got one of those big, I'll put a picture because I can't think of the technical term for it right now. But I got one of those things that hold up backdrops. And that's one thing I would say you don't necessarily need right away. You don't need the big backdrop thing. If you're able to stick it to a wall, stick it to, I think I've seen some people purchase curtain rods and attaching it to the wall and then using that. I think that's a great idea too. It's less bulky. It doesn't take up as much space because those things take up a lot of space. And luckily I have that space in my basement. Those big rolls, those big professional rolls wasn't very cost effective. And then I was silly and got them in orange and yellow. I mean, it's a cute moment, you know, it gave me some cute pictures, but are you really going to want to record behind or in front of that color forever and ever and ever and ever? No. And right now they're just sitting in the basement and I rarely use them. So I wouldn't suggest those. And then another thing that I would suggest though, eventually, I think I saw one of my friends on Instagram using these, and I've been sold ever since because they don't cost very much. It's an easy way to switch up the background, and they have the variety is amazing, and that's kind of I guess you'll see a lot of those in my videos, like the marble one. Those range from like $10 to $20. It is a way to switch up my background. It doesn't cost too much, and me personally, I like those. I would suggest those if you're looking into backgrounds. Couple more things. We're almost done. Couple more things. Batteries. When I first started, I was using the one battery that came in my camera kit. It had a charger. And let me tell you now, it's simply not enough. If you have one battery, it's going to drag out the process of recording. If it dies, you have to stop recording and wait for it to charge so that you can continue what you are doing. That's what I was doing in the beginning. And very shortly after doing that for some time, I decided to invest in another battery for my camera. And that is one thing I can tell you right away. Invest in. No questions, no ifs, ands, or buts. Get you another battery for your camera. That way, when you're using one battery to record, the other one can be charging or it's already charged. And so when that battery dies, all you got to do is switch it out and you keep the ball rolling. Put the other one on the charger and you don't have to stop in between the process of recording. So that's short, simple, easy. I didn't have it in the beginning. If you're just starting out, you definitely want to get at least 2 batteries for your camera. Another thing that I wasn't using right away is a monitor. Like I said in the category when I was talking about my camera is one of the ones that flip out. But I have bad eyesight. This screen, I couldn't see everything. I couldn't see what was being picked up. It was a struggle, guys. It was a struggle. So I would definitely suggest investing in some kind of monitor. And of course, if you have a monitor, you're going to need an HDMI cord. It is not a regular HDMI cord. It's a mini. You need a mini. The regular HDMI that might be on our computer is not the same one that you would hook up to your camera. It's a smaller one, and you need one that has the end that you stick into the camera, and then the regular one that you would stick into a computer or a TV. Guess where I went? To the thrift store. The thrift store has everything. But yeah, a lot of times they have a whole section of technology, and there are old computer monitors that you can use as a bigger monitor so that you can see what you're recording while you're recording it. And that's where this one came from. I kind of use this one now for my computer though. because the one that I use currently is an old TV that I had in college. Like I was saying in the beginning of the video, content creating takes a lot. It takes a lot of money to get started, and often when you first get started, you don't get a return on your investment. But if you prioritize what you need and what's going to make it easier and what you can live with and what you can live without until you figure out your groove and what works for you, and then you start working with brands and you start getting those paid collaborations and paid partnerships, then I would say use that money to invest in the things that you want, the things that you want, basically, the things that you don't necessarily need right away, but it's going to make you happy and it's going to be a good investment once you have money coming in. Because you don't want to go broke. You don't want to go out and just buy all of the most expensive things and then you realize that this isn't for you, because that happens to a lot of people. They go into it thinking that it's going to be one way, and then they realize that it's not for them, and they already invested all of this money into all of this equipment. Yeah, I don't want that to happen to you guys. So my hope is that this video kind of helps you, like I said, prioritize what to invest in right away until you get your sea legs. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, like I said in the beginning, comment down below if you found anything helpful, or there's something that you think that people should prioritize or that you learned so far in your content creating journey, along with any questions about anything that I have mentioned in this video. And I will see you guys in my next one.